They
We're at Camosun College celebrating the Greater Victoria Shakespeare Festival, and you're watching Go Island on Shaw TV. On today's show, miniature trains making a big impact. Rock guru Kim Rock brings us the latest concert listings, and grab your marshmallows, Dan Kahn hits the streets to talk camping. All that and more on Go Island.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network.
I'm Jen Muranetz, filling in for Karen Elgersma, and welcome to Go Island. We're here at the Greater Victoria Shakespeare Festival, and I'm joined with Clayton. He's the artistic director of Measure for Measure, which is what we're watching right behind us here. Clayton, tell me, what is Measure for Measure all about?
It's a very interesting play. What it's all about, the plot in a nutshell, we'll start there. There's this Duke, Vincentio, who has let the law sort of slide over the years. There's a lot of laws that he doesn't really want to enforce, but it's starting to concern him, so he thinks that he should start to clamp down on people, but he feels if he did that it would look hypocritical, so he gets Angelo to take over while he ostensibly goes away, and tells Angelo to really be very strict about enforcing all of the laws. And then the Duke, meanwhile, disguises himself as a monk to watch how things go. And of course, the fact that Angelo is all of a sudden coming down really hard on people and they're not used to it leads to some very serious problems. And the Duke realizes maybe this isn't how he wants his kingdom to run.
Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intends you for his swift ambassador. Therefore your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on.
Is there no remedy?
None but such a remedy that to save a head would cleave a heart in twain.
But is there any?
Yes, brother, you may live. There is a devilish mercy in the judge if you'll implore it. One that will free your life, but fetter you till death.
But lead me to the point.
This outward sainted deputy is yet a devil. His filth within being cast, he would appear a pond as deep as hell.
Angelo.
'Tis the cunning livery of hell.
So it addresses a lot of issues like hypocrisy. It addresses the idea of shirking responsibility for your own actions, what you've set up. It poses lots of questions, and it doesn't give any easy answers.
It's really one of Shakespeare's problem plays, you could say, hey?
Right, it doesn't fit into any categories, really. Everything is gray, nothing's black or white.
Now, you've been involved with the Shakespeare Festival here in Victoria for a long time. What's been the history of this festival?
Well, it's a complicated, long history. I ran the festival from 1991 to 2002. So I put together a one-man Hamlet show. It was a big success, so I realized that there was an audience for Shakespeare in Victoria. So the following summer, we did 3 mini plays in our little venue in Market Square, three condensed Shakespeare plays. And that went really well, and so we did it there for 4 years, and then we started to get more funding. We moved to a giant tent in the Inner Harbour right down in front of the Empress for 4 years. Then we moved to St. Anne's Academy Auditorium for 4 years, and then I felt I'd had enough. So a few people that were working with me didn't want to see it die, so they formed the Victoria Shakespeare Society and kept it going, and Michael Glover came in as the artistic director, and he's heading for his 12th year now.
So it's been 23 years, and we're going to take a longer look at Measure for Measure a little bit later in the show. We're also going to look at the other play that's performing, which is The Merry Wives of Windsor. So we're going to take a look at that later in Go Island. But first, our first story. They're 1/8 the size, but the makers behind them say they're 100% the quality. Up next, we take a look at some mini locomotives. To find out when the trains are running at Heritage Acres, you can visit the website on your screen. We're here at the Greater Victoria Shakespeare Festival, and I'm with some of the actors of Measure for Measure. This is Michael and Ariel here. So you guys have been involved with this festival a couple of years now. Why do you keep coming back? What is it about this particular festival that draws you in?
Well, Shakespeare has always drawn me. I love performing it, I love reading it. And I think the Victoria Shakespeare Society produces a fantastic show year after year, and I love to be a part of it.
If I should yield him my virginity, thou might be freed.
Heavens, it cannot be.
Tonight's the night that I should do what I abhor to name, or else thou diest tomorrow.
Thou shalt not do
And
it.
what is it about, you know, performing outside with the fresh air on the green grass? What is it about that?
It feels like you're getting back to the roots of Shakespeare in many ways, because you are outside, you're relying on natural projection, there's no mics, and you're definitely at the mercy of the environment. I mean, sometimes there's wind, there's obviously cars, and all sorts of things happen, deer. So it's a more naturalistic approach to Shakespeare, I guess.
So Measure for Measure is it falls into a whole bunch of different genres. What do you guys think about this play?
Oh, it is the definition of the grayscale. Measure for Measure is really, really complex and really interesting morally and intentions-wise. All the characters, there's no really, really good or bad characters. There's characters who are predominantly have positive characteristics and characters who have predominantly negative characteristics, but everything is all mushed together, and I think that's really interesting to develop as an actor and to watch as an audience member as well.
We're going to take a look at Kim Rock and see what she's coming up with these concert updates.
It is no sin, or of the deadly severed it is the least.
What says my brother?
Death is a fearful thing.
And shame blithe a hateful.
Aye, but to die, and to go we know not
This is a
where.
scene here from Measure for Measure, one of the two plays happening at the Greater Victoria Shakespeare Festival that kicks off this Wednesday. Coming up after the break, we're going to preview the other play, The Merry Wives of Windsor, and we're also going to take a look at our weekly installment of Road Trip.
I'm glad I am so quit of this tinderbox. His thefts were too open. His filching was like an unskillful singer. He kept not time.
The good humor is to steal at a minute's rest.
Convey the wise it call steal. A fico for the phrase.
Friends, I am almost out at heels.
Why then let kibes ensue?
There's no remedy for it. I must conny catch. I must shift.
Young ravens must have food.
Who among you know Ford of this town?
I ken the white. He is of substance good.
My good friends, I shall tell you what I am about.
2 yards and more.
No quips now, pistol! Indeed, in the waist I am 2 yards about. But I am now about no waste. I am about thrift.
What you just saw was a scene from The Merry Wives of Windsor, one of the performances happening here at the Greater Victoria Shakespeare Festival. And I'm joined with the director of that play there, Kate Rubin. What is this performance all about?
Well, The Merry Wives of Windsor is, it's actually not done that often, funnily enough, because it's quite funny. It's one of his comedies, and it takes place in a small town, Windsor. And it's different than some of his other plays, Shakespeare's plays, because he often plays with the whole thing of royalty and the world of status and religion and all this sort of war and politics. And this is the politics of small town.
I do mean to make love to Ford's wife. I spy entertainments in her. She discourses. She gives the leer of invitation. I can construe the action of her familiar style. And the voice of her behavior is, I am Sir John Falstaff.
He hath studied her well and translated her well out of honesty into English.
The anchor is deep. Will that humor pass?
So Windsor in England we've adapted it to make it sort of like a mythical Windsor in BC, and it's small town politics. It's what happens in the small town. There's gossips, there's love affairs, and there's a character that comes to town, Falstaff, who is one of Shakespeare's most, what would you say, favorite comical characters, who thinks the ladies love him. And of course, they don't necessarily think that. And there's a setup there with Falstaff coming in, trying to woo the women, and the women play a trick on him. Actually, they play 3 tricks on him. And so the play is very much, that's what it's mostly about, but then there's a number of other storylines that are woven in. The play is also very comedic. Shakespeare, what he did is he combined two sort of storylines when he was commissioned by Queen Elizabeth to write it, and he wrote sort of a comedic commedia dell'arte, which is kind of clown, and then he wove together this story about Falstaff as well. So you get this kind of quirky characters in the story that are kind of like stranger than life, but then again they're recognizable too, because in every small town and in every community there's characters like this.
And you guys have added to this comedy a little bit by making it a 70s feel. Why did you decide to adapt it this way?
Well, I don't know, it just came to me about small town, and I know that people have been playing with it when they do around using their own colloquial world, and so I thought small town BC, I can relate to that. I've lived in small towns in BC, and the 70s, something about the time period fit for this, about the ladies' man and the whole energy. There, a lot of the scenes take place in a bar or in an inn, so we made it be a bar, and there's music, so we kind of just turn that around. So we have the music in the bars, we have rock musicians and folk musicians, and it's kind of middle class and working class, so we have that whole world of Canada. It's really small town Canada in a way, but I've made it specifically BC.
And it's set in this beautiful location. This is the gathering space here at Camosun College. What has this vibe been like to rehearse in here and to soon perform in this space?
Well, it's an incredible building, and I feel really honored that I've been able to direct in it. It's exquisitely built, and it's got such a light and grandiose kind of feel at the same time that's intimate. So it feels fun. It's really fun, and we're doing it in the round, or sort of in the round. So that's great too. The audience is going to be able to see the action from both sides.
That whole theater in the round kind of idea.
Yeah. So.
Great. Well, we're going to take a quick break now, but when we come back, we're going to take a little bit of a deeper look at the Shakespeare Festival, and also Dan Kahn takes out his lawn chairs and goes out and talks camping in his next edition of Talk to Me. Welcome back to Go Island. We're here getting a preview of the Greater Victoria Shakespeare Festival, and I'm joined with the artistic director, Michael Glover. Now, Michael, what can people expect from this year's festival that they haven't seen in the past?
Well, we've really done a lot of work on our venues. That's something that people are going to see right away. We've split, we've taken the grass stage and we put in a stage, so it's no longer on the grass, it's up off the grass. So people are still going to get that feel, that sense of being outdoors and all that people have come to expect from us, but at the same time that's going to give them a little bit more of a push for voices, and which is helpful as we're getting into bigger and bigger audiences. And then we'll be in Natsumat, the gathering place on campus, which is an Aboriginal space on campus. They've allowed us to be there, and we'll be doing a show in there in the round. And in the round is very unusual for Victoria. Not a lot of theaters do that.
But it's just so classical. Seeing theater in the round is just such an interesting experience.
Yeah.
It's one of a kind, really.
Yeah. It goes back to Greek theater and Roman theater. Definitely, theater in the round was very big in those genres.
Now, you are also starring in one of the performances as well. What's it like juggling these two roles, being the artistic director and also being casted in the show?
Well, when you throw my full-time job in there, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, I'll tell you. It makes for, it's definitely a labor of love. There's no doubt. It's my 10th year with the Shakespeare Festival. I've brought it up from being an actor to being artistic director to being an actor again. So I've actually had the chance to get back to acting. It's very exciting.
Mistress Page has come with me, sweetheart.
Divide me like a bride buck. Each a haunch. My sides I'll keep for myself. My shoulders for the gentlemen of this walk. And my horns I bequeath your husbands. Am I a woodsman? Ha! Speak I like Herne the Hunter? As I am a gentle spirit, welcome.
Oh.
Now, the show kicks off on Wednesday and it goes until August 17th?
Yes, this show will actually go until August 16th, and then our other show, Measure for Measure, will go to the 17th. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
So we're going to go to our final story of the day. Talk to Me. Dan Kahn does it every week, and this year he takes out his camping chairs and talks camping. This is probably the only time you're going to get an electric guitar in a Shakespeare play, eh? Okay, Karen, tell me, where can people get tickets and find out more information about this year's Shakespeare Festival?
Well, you can go to the Greater Victoria Shakespeare Festival website, which is vicshakespeare.com. We're selling tickets through Ticket Rocket, and you can find out more about them at ticketrocket.org. Also, we sell our tickets through the Papery and at Ivy's Bookshop in Oak Bay.
And remind people, why should they buy these tickets? Why should they come see the plays?
Well, the Greater Victoria Shakespeare Festival is a great thing to do in the summer. It's not just coming to see wonderful plays performed by amazing actors, but it's also a great experience to come out, bring your picnic, watch Shakespeare under the stars or under the roof of this amazing building. It's really a lot of fun.
And when you go online to buy your tickets, you can also Facebook us, tweet us, send us an email, tell us what you think about the show, and tell us if you're going to the plays. We like to hear from you. Thanks for watching.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network. Men's Wardrobe by DG Bremner & Co. Menswear and accessories. Hair services provided by Salon J.